Hey there, my name is Courtney, and today we are going to be taste testing fall things from Trader Joe's. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really start shopping at Trader Joe's until probably like a year or so ago, and I've done a taste testing video. I think it was for holiday things, maybe at the end of 2019. I honestly don't remember. And I actually have not been back to a Trader Joe's since Corona started, just because it's not somewhere that I shop for like my main shopping. So I hadn't been there in a really long time, and I was like, you know what? I'm sure they've got a bunch of really fun stuff for fall. So I'm gonna go get stuff for taste testing. And I ended up finding enough that I'm going to make this a 2-part taste testing. So this is the first part, obviously, and the next one will be coming very soon. And so I just split it up between a bunch of the fun fall stuff that I found. Now there was definitely more than what I got. Like I didn't get anything savory. I only got sweet stuff. I definitely could do a whole savory video if I really wanted to. But I decided to stick with sweet stuff because that's what I do majority of the time. And I was able to get, like I said, enough for 2 videos out of that. So let's jump into it. Let's get started. I'm really excited because there's some fun stuff for both videos. Okay, so the first thing are pumpkin flavored JoJo's. So if you don't know, JoJo's are Trader Joe's version of Oreos. I've never tried them. I kind of wish I would have gotten the regular ones to compare just to see how they are to begin with, like a regular flavor, but that's all right. We're gonna try these and see how these are. A very strong pumpkin smell. That smells fantastic. This smells like straight up pumpkin pie filling. Like the stuff that's in a can. I'm gonna try a cookie by itself and then the cream by itself. Okay. So the cookie itself is really good. It's very similar to a golden Oreo. It's dense, and I think it's a bit more dense than an Oreo cookie would be. It calls for, or I personally feel like it calls for more cream. So I wish there was a bit more cream in it, but the cream itself is really good. It has a really nice hint of pumpkin flavor. It's not too overwhelming. It's not artificial in the slightest, which I'm sure it's not because it says with other natural flavors. But it's really good. I just wish there was more cream. Like this would be 10 out of 10, knock out of the park, pumpkin flavored JoJo if it was thicker cream. But other than that, I really enjoy this if you prefer a bit less cream or you don't like, alright, so my favorite Oreo is the mega stuffed Oreos, like the big ones. Not the most stuff, like I think that's even a little too much, but the mega stuffed Oreos, those are my favorite, so that should kind of tell you why I'd prefer a bit more cream in here. But other than that, these are fantastic, and I'm gonna take a wild guess and say the regular JoJo's are probably really good too. So these are fantastic, and they just smell really nice. Like a candle that smelled like this would be beautiful. Okay, so in my last video, I did a pumpkin spice taste testing, and in that I taste tested pumpkin spice, what's the brand? Pureline, whatever the brand is, but the wafer cookies. And so now I have Trader Joe's version of pumpkin spice. They call them batons. Delicate rolled wafers filled with pumpkin spice. So I'm really interested to see how these compare to the other ones that I tried in the last video, because those were fantastic. Okay, so first off, there's a higher ratio of wafer to cream, which I personally don't like. I'd prefer there was a lot more cream and a bit less of the wafer, because it overpowers the cream on the inside to the point where you don't get a really good taste of the cream. And on top of that, I really don't get much pumpkin flavor at all. It's very subtle. It tastes more like sweetened condensed milk, if anything. I know that sounds super weird, but I taste sweetened condensed milk over pumpkin. Like I get a tiny hit of pumpkin, and in the aftertaste, I can kind of get the pumpkin, but yeah, the ratio of wafer to cream is off, and it tastes like condensed milk, which I'm not complaining. Sweet condensed milk tastes good. It's just really sweet, but not what I was looking for in a pumpkin spiced baton. Okay, so next up are pumpkin spice pretzel slims with crushed pumpkin spiced pumpkin seeds. Okay, so based on the picture, they kind of look like it might be some sort of white chocolate mixed with pumpkin flavoring over the pretzels and then coated with the crushed pumpkin spiced pumpkin seeds. I don't know. I'm excited though. Smells like pumpkin spice. These are fantastic. These are delicious. These are amazing. They're sweet and salty. They're crunchy but then creamy because of the white confectioner that's on the outside. They're a bit subtle on the pumpkin. I think it's a little like they could have taken it up one more notch and gotten away with it because it's not too overpowering. I like the texture that the extra pumpkin seeds add to the outside. It's fun and it also makes them look cute. I also like their size. They're kind of on the smaller size. I also really like that they're kind of rich because I could see myself sitting down and eating these while I watch TV, but because they're pretty sweet, I don't think I would eat too many of them because I think I would rather quickly get to a point where I'm like, okay, I've had enough. Which is good and bad. It's good because it means they're full of flavor, they're really impactful, they're really, really good, but I'm also not going to overeat on them. So yeah, these are hands down the best thing I have tried so far and definitely better than anything I tried in the last video. There was some good stuff in the last video, but this has so far been the pumpkin spice winner for me, and it's actually the last pumpkin spice thing in this particular video, so far this is the reigning pumpkin spice champion. I said that with way too much sass. I just don't know what. But in the next video I think there's one more pumpkin spice thing from Trader Joe's, so we shall see if this reigns as the reigning champion of pumpkin spice things. But so far, these are the winner. These are fantastic. Okay. Oh, interesting. It's got a laying down one and then a standing on, which is smart because then it means they can stack their shelves and put them all like this, or they could stack their shelves and put them all like this. How smart, how clever. All right, so these are cinnamon bun cookies, soft baked cinnamon and brown sugar cookies, sandwiching a cinnamon bun flavored cream filling. Whew, that's a mouthful. Ooh. Those smell very interesting. Smells like a cinnamon roll. Okay, so the cookie itself, let's start there, is slightly more dense than an oatmeal cream pie cookie. It's really soft. It's really, really delicious and actually really reminds me of an oatmeal cream pie, just with a lot more cinnamon. But then as I was eating it, I was like, where did the center filling stuff go? Like, there's nothing in there. Like, look, there's pretty much hardly anything in there. Like, on this side, doesn't look like there's anything in there. And so I pulled the container out and picked up, so this was the row that I grabbed from. And I think they might have melted at some point, because that looks like all the filling came out. And you can tell it happened on this one, on that one. So I'm going to grab one that looks like it still has... It would also explain, though, why they're kind of, like, stuck together if they melted at some point. But alright, I'm gonna try one where you can tell stuff is actually in there. There's stuff in there. You see it? It's there. That still tasted pretty much the same. I mean, maybe you get it a little more. I'm gonna grab a glob of it. It's for science, okay? Okay, so that really doesn't taste much different than the cookie. Like, I don't think it adds much flavor. I think it tastes pretty similar to the cookie itself. So I think what they should have done was, instead of sandwiching that stuff between the cookies, which obviously didn't work, was coat the cookies in that stuff and do like a glaze and do glazed cinnamon bun cookies. I think that would have gone over a lot better, because this, with it in the middle, it just seems to get lost. The cookie itself is delicious, and the cream, and the cream itself is pretty good, but because it's in the middle, and then obviously mine at least melted, which I didn't leave it in a situation to get melted. I went to the store and then came directly home and brought it all inside, so it had to have melted before I got it, which, whatever, shit happens. But my point is that I think what I learned from this for them is that they should probably just coat the cookies. I think they'd be better off that way. I think it would more evenly. I think if your tongue came into contact with the icing first, it would allow you to taste it and know it's there. And I think it would add an extra dimension of texture to the cookie. Whereas where it's at right now, like I said, it just gets lost. You don't taste it. You don't really know it's there. I couldn't really tell the difference between when it was there and when it wasn't there. Oh, or to dip this, hold on. This is coffee. Cinnamon coffee, might I add. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. If you get these, you're gonna get these, whatever. Try dipping that in a little whipped cream or some hot chocolate. Now that is what you do with these things. Okay, so that was it for part 1. Keep your eye out for part 2 coming. I'm not sure if it's gonna come a few days later or 1 week later. I haven't decided yet. I kind of have to figure out how all of my stuff is going. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, let me know you enjoyed so that I can do more of these, or know that I should do more of these. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!